Life was everything I dreamed of. I was living in New York City, working at Rockefeller Center, a place I once only knew from movies and TV shows. I was finally living my dream, until one day, everything changed. I found out I was going through topical steroid withdrawal. But before we dive into that, let me take you back. When I was 3, my mom relocated us to New Zealand. Life was carefree, exploring nature, playing outside, and watching cartoons at home. But after 10 months, we moved back to Singapore, and that's when the trouble began. My once rosy cheeks turned into dry, irritated skin, which alarmed my parents enough to bring me to a clinic. I was prescribed topical steroids. Of course, they told us to use a base of moisturizer and apply the steroids sparingly. Back then, little was known about the long-term side effects of steroids. I managed to suppress my eczema with the use of topical steroids. I led an active childhood, playing netball, doing triathlons, and eventually enrolling myself into culinary school at 17. It was everything I wanted. Less studying, more hands-on tasks, and best of all, indulging in the culinary arts. I worked my way into one of Singapore's most up-and-coming restaurants at the time. But with that came stress. And with stress came one of my biggest eczema flares yet. My arms were red, patchy, and inflamed, and the usual topical steroids weren't enough. Desperate for relief, I turned to oral steroids in addition to the topical treatments that had already stopped working. I was hesitant at first. I had heard about TSW, but my doctor assured me it was rare and asked me, how else can we target the inflammation without knocking it out? A week later, my skin was back to normal. Or so I thought. 3 years later, I landed a job in New York. I was ecstatic, living the American dream, indulging in ice cream and pizzas, enjoying every bit of it. But 3 months into my new life, I developed an unforgettable flare. My eyes swelled up so much I couldn't even open it. My whole body turned red. I knew this wasn't just a regular flare. Being in a new country, I didn't dare navigate the unfamiliar healthcare system. Thankfully, my mom sent over the topical steroids I usually used and some antihistamines. After a week off work, my skin calmed down enough to return. But I was never the same. My skin stayed red and inflamed, and it took me 8 agonizing months to finally discover what was happening to me. I was going through topical steroid withdrawal. I saw videos on TikTok, but I could never accept that this was happening to me. The turning point was realizing that I was cold in the middle of summer. That's when I came to terms with it. I stopped using topical steroids for 2 months before returning to Singapore and began moisture withdrawal once I was back. That leads me to today. Today is the 3rd day that I'm not washing my hair. I bought this after the doctor. I think I'm gonna shave my hair because, as you can see, it's back to normal of it being really oozy and not healing, and I'm kind of done with the pain of it. Even like when it gets tugged a little, I feel it a lot. So I am kind of attached to my hair. I want to try and learn to be less attached to it. I'm still on this journey of healing, but the last thing is my hair holding me back. I tried to keep it, but the hair and the swelling just aren't working out. As I mark my 1-year journey, I'm focusing on healing, embracing my new skin, and looking forward to a healthier future. Thank you for staying till the end of the video. It means a lot for me to share this journey with you. If you'd like to stay updated, feel free to follow along as I navigate this unpredictable road. Bye bye!